you get?
I got a hot dog because he keeps talking about Virginia City hot dogs.
Say, she was telling me about when she didn't want one and how gross it was, and she orders one.
No, $1 hot dog sounded gross to me, but a $6 hot dog, $7 hot dog is better.
Whatever.
We are in Virginia City. Actually lived in Carson pretty much our whole lives and never really came up here and experienced it as a tourist, so.
I did.
Well, I did not, so.
I did when I was a kid a lot.
This is kind of my first time as a tourist, and I actually just met a wonderful guy. Stinky.
And his mule.
Ass. I've just.
Still a mule.
Donkey. He said she's a donkey. Her name's Bernadine.
Oh, it is a donkey, you're right.
Named after his wife.
Yep.
There you go.
She's not gonna finish the joke.
No, I'm not.
It's off color.
It's off color.
Down there, that is the high school football field, which we've been at many times. It's funny, we used to come to Virginia City all the time for sports stuff because they were in our league. So, where do we find ourselves of all places? The middle school where our kids used to play basketball.
That's not why we're here, though.
I know, but this is where we find ourselves.
Yeah, that is where we find ourselves.
Yeah.
Why we're really here is the amazing
that's
church.
Not the only reason, but.
Well, no, but I mean, why we're here in this like specific location is because of St. Mary's.
Yeah, we're walking down to the church. Here, you can look at it. There you go. Beautiful old church. St. Mary's in the mountains. Beautiful old Catholic church. Wait, what did it say? Oh, the cradle of Catholicism in Western Nevada.
There you
That's
go.
what the sign says. I didn't make that up. Okay. So, we're gonna go inside.
Yeah.
I guess we can film inside. Doesn't say we can't.
There you go.
We may not talk though. Do something, wave or something.
I'm having them. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh man, that's just a donkey.
It's just a donkey.
Yes, he moved your head around a lot because she ain't hands or nothing, you know.
Yeah.
That's what you expect yourself.
There you go. There you go.
Bernadine, I named her after my wife, man. My father Bernadine. After every time I woke up my ass, I would think of my wife.
Alrighty then.
Stinky.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Well, no, Stinky.
Stinky. Nice to meet you, sir. Stinky.
Virginia City's not, it's really not ADA friendly. It's really not pedestrian friendly. So like right now, we're walking in the street because there's parking over here.
Yeah.
So,
but honestly,
and then other places.
When it was created and built, that makes sense because it was a mining town.
Yeah,
so.
they did build it in the side of a hill because that's where they found gold. Back there, the wooden walkways are like, you know, like a little uneven. I mean, a lot uneven. And then we're standing overlooking the where the high school was, down below, and the whole sidewalk on that side bounces.
Yeah.
Pretty significantly.
The planks are a little loose.
Yeah. So it's not fully supported underneath. So we're just walking up and down now. We're gonna go in some places on our way back through, probably. Get lunch at some point. $1 hot dogs, $1 popcorn, $1 beer. That's what they used to have when I was a kid. You go in those, like the bucket of blood and stuff like that, and it was $1 hot dogs, $1 popcorn.
Maybe it's not $1 anymore. It's been a long time since you were a kid, babe. You know.
Are you calling me old?
No, but it has been a few years since you were a kid.
The nerve.
The nerve.
Jen walked off again, so you just get me for a few minutes. Anyway, if you're not aware, Virginia City is an actual like mining town. Popped up in the 1800s when they found silver and gold up here, and it's known for the Comstock Lode. That's what they call it. The big find they found up here. The Virginia Truckee Railroad, very famous. Sutro Tunnel. The town popped up in the 1800s because of the Comstock Lode, the big silver and gold find they found up here. The town is literally sitting on top of hundreds of miles of shafts and big stopes where they, took out ore. It's many levels deep, 1,000 feet below us. Honestly, I worked up here. I worked on the Virginia and Truckee Railroad. We were always shocked that Virginia City's still here, because if you ever see maps of all of the tunnels, there's nothing underneath us.
No.
It's empty space.
Yeah.
They're probably flooded, but
wooden shafts and things. Well,
yeah, like wooden.
I mean,
wooden supports and stuff like that. So
yeah,
it's crazy.
A little disconcerting.
It's pretty historic here. Most of the buildings through town are original. Some of them have burned and they've been rebuilt at some point, not recently, but maybe they burned in the early 1900s or something. But many of them are original. A lot of them are famous. Bucket of Blood, Delta Queen, Piper's Opera House.
Silver Queen.
What's the name? The Mackey Mansion.
Mackey Mansion, the Fourth Ward School.
Yeah, I believe Ghost Adventures.
Yes.
We've mentioned when we've been other places. They've been here, I think, what, 3 times?
I think so. They've done Mackey Mansion. They've done the Silver Queen. They also did the Fourth Ward School.
Well, they did the Washoe Club twice.
Washoe Club twice.
They came back to the Washoe Club because the first time they went, they stirred things up, if you believe in all that. And then apparently the spirits there were saying Zach Bagan's name.
Yeah.
So they came back to confront them and put them at ease or something. I don't know what they did.
I don't know if that's what they
but
did.
They've been up here a lot. There's a lot of haunted places up here. So.
Well, a lot of people died here, honestly.
Yep, Virginia City used to be huge.
Yeah.
Thousands and thousands of people used to live up here. So it used to be a pretty big city. Not anymore. Once silver petered out, it's the end of that. Wound up in the Virginia City Museum. Built as the way it was. There's an old stamp mill. You see these all over Nevada. They usually don't have the actual stamps, these parts here, but I have seen some. In fact, right near where we used to live, with the they call that a camshaft, still intact. This is a small one. Most of them are like 2 or 3 stories tall. This is what we were talking about earlier, all of the shafts. This is a model representation of the shafts. You can see up in the corner, right up there, it says "You are here." So that's Virginia City, and you can see the mine shafts. And there are, like I said, hundreds, probably of miles of shafts all over.
It's a little disconcerting when you think about all this.
Yeah.
shafts underneath.
Yeah, remember this, you know, we're up there, we're that little green, maybe it looks black to you, bar across the top there, and then all of this is underneath Virginia City. Just miles and miles of shafts.
800 miles.
800 miles.
800 miles.
800 miles of shafts. As you can see, you know, you don't really wonder why we always wondered why Virginia City didn't sink into the ground. I mean, look at that mess. Wow. Crazy. So share a little more about the little I know is you know, that map, that three-dimensional map of all the shafts, that's just the shafts. It doesn't necessarily represent the stopes, which are the big open areas that they opened up. Those, if you see those on a map, all of those lines, that lattice work, are just littered with big open areas that they were taking ore out of. And then there was a rock, a lump of silver ore, that's it. Then they had to take that ore and crush it and process it to get a little tiny bit of silver out of it. The heat down there was like 130 degrees down there. They used to bring ice down into the shafts to try and keep it cool. I don't know how well it worked. They would actually harvest that from frozen lakes in the winter and store it in ice houses for the summer.
Yeah.
But they used it even during the winter because it was just as hot down there in the winter, 130 degrees or so down there. The men can only work for 15-minute shifts. In
the deepest of the shafts, they said.
Right.
Only 15 minutes because of the lack of oxygen.
Later they had like hydraulic and steam-powered drills, but at first they would actually do it by hand. Little drills, handheld drills, and a hammer, or longer handheld drills, and then like two-handed hammers. You'd have two men working on it. They drill a hole and then put I don't think it was dynamite at the time. Later they'd use dynamite, but just black powder wrapped in newspaper, stick in the hole, yell fire in the hole. In a typical day, 10-hour day, they were lucky if they would get 3 feet.
Yeah.
But there's 800 miles of shafts down there, not to mention all the big open areas. So it's crazy. The history of Virginia City is pretty interesting. We're in the Delta Queen? Yeah. And behind us there is the suicide table. Actually, players didn't commit suicide, the owners committed suicide because they lost so much money at the Faro table. So that's why it's called the suicide table.
How are you?
Oh, yeah.
There were 3 different owners that killed themselves. So.
I don't know why she's not in the camera.
Oh, well, you're looking at the table.
People want to look at you. It's a little disconcerting if you can see the floors. I'm assuming these are probably original, or at least very, very old.
Yes.
And they are really squeaky, and they're not flex under your feet.
Yeah, and they're not even either. Yeah. They have like this natural flow with them, so if you don't like pay attention.
It's a little disconcerting. So I was holding it with the wrong hand, that's why I was like this. Now I'm like that. Okay.
There you go.
All right, we're going back outside.
Yes.
It's actually cooler outside. A lot of these places don't have air conditioning or don't have very good air conditioning. They told you that, hot dogs. And they have Bloody Marys too. There's been several of those. And popcorn. Ha! I went in the vault. That's why it's echoey. It's metal. The floor's metal. The wall's metal. The ceiling's metal. The door ain't that thick. I guess they didn't have power tools back then, so.
No, like look, it's not that big at all. I'm not going in there though.
No, not the width.
Oh.
The thickness.
Oh.
Yeah, because that's what keeps people out. It's like, oh, it's too tight, I can't fit. I guess I won't steal all
My
that
shoulders
gold.
are too broad, I can't get in. Hey, it's possible.
Oh, emergency. Emergency.
It's new.
Air raid.
It's new.
Air raid. the Japanese are attacking the, Ponderosa. That was the Ponderosa. That was where that. There was a mine tour, but we don't want to pay 16 bucks to go on a mine tour right now. Probably because it's hot underground. It's actually probably 50.
It's probably cool underground.
It's probably 50 degrees.
I couldn't figure out what kind of animal that was up there.
Oh, it's a windmill.
Oh, dead raccoon.
What's he walking?
That's hilarious.
One winner later.
There, so I showed you a little stamp mill, and I called the thing at the top a camshaft. That's what it's called. But this one is much, much, much larger. Where are you? Why aren't you over here for size?
Oh, sorry.
Come on, do your job. It's like 4 feet tall. Oh, wait, 5 feet. So the other one was maybe a foot long, foot and a half, I don't remember. This one is probably 10, 12 feet. So I told you, they get really big. This would have sat on something probably about that size. You can see in relation to the Jeep there, maybe bigger, maybe smaller, I don't know. But anyway, just wanted to show that I guessed right. It's a camshaft, and they're huge. All right, we just got down to Virginia City. If you're like Columbo or something, you might notice that the sun is in a completely different position. That's because we did some other stuff.
Yes.
But anyway, we're headed home, and we're gonna get something to drink because it's not super hot, but
It's a little warm.
it's a little warm and windy, and we're thirsty. So
Yes.
we're allowed to be thirsty. Leave us alone. And so I guess that's it. We're gonna head back down to Reno, and we'll catch you on the flip side or
Yeah.
something.
So as always, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you down the road.
See, now that she has her catchphrase, I keep coming up with all these things. Catch you on the flip side.
I know, but mine is it rocks. I'm really proud of that.
I still don't know what to say.
Every
I said at
once
the
in
end,
a
I still
while.
don't know when to shut up. So I just can't stop talking.